So last time I charted the whole house and the feeds, I feel like kind of proved me right on day one. Well, at this point, the veto has happened. The alliances have names now, and I went and pulled the actual sky for this week. And I want to tell you something because I don't think the universe is being subtle. Right now, over this house, we have a brand new moon in Cancer. Mercury's retrograde in Cancer. Mars is also in Gemini, and Saturn is sitting in Aries. In plain English, that means this is the astrology of everybody being in their feelings, secrets spilling out through crossed wires, fights happening with words instead of fist, and the reckless fire signs getting a cosmic reality check. Now, look at what actually happened this week. Mallory won the veto. She saved herself. Secrets got rattled. Angela got her little feelings hurt. Rome told the whole house he would throw a competition. This is not coincidence. This is the sky. Let me show you the temperament of this house, the synastry inside the alliances. And yes, Rome and Lyric are going to get the full treatment today. I'm going to talk about it. So, quick catch up because the board has moved. Um, and I got some thoughts after watching the feeds, of course, then watching RHAP Roundtable. Go watch Rob has a podcast. They're amazing, and I'm pretty sure if you're listening to me, you definitely know about them. But also, this guy named Karen, he covers the feeds every single day. But yeah, but Dee is still the HOH, and Mama's running away with it. She got the highest HOH rating that the podcast has ever handed out. I think it was kind of cool. And she's one of the most popular house guests in the house. Mallory, who was on the blog, she won the veto, took herself off, so the replacement nominee became Ashley. So the final three on the block are going to be Ashley, Taylor, and Yash is the one most likely to go at this point. And the alliances are finally starting to kind of have some shape. There is the crossovers. It's like the real secret power group: Dee, Devins, Angela, Barrett, and Drew. Then there's the red corner with Kirk. I call him Kirk. I keep forgetting to say his real name for her name. But anyway, Haley and Chuck with Dee and Devin secretly attached to soak up heat. And there's Mama's Angels, which is Rome, Jason, and Latrice, Lala, with Lyric attached through the showmance. And Jason's also tried to start a group called the Jesters. And I think he thought he pulled in Drew and Melody, but Drew immediately ratted the whole thing out. But I want you to hold all that because I think this guy explains a lot of it. So here's the part I'm kind of obsessed with right now. These are the actual transits happening over the week this week. And each one is running a storyline, in my opinion. So first we have the new moon in Cancer. So basically the sun and moon are both sitting right around 22 degrees of Cancer, which means they are together, which means new moon. A new moon is a reset, a fresh emotional start, and it is in Cancer, the home of the sign of home and family and feelings and safety. So you have a house full of strangers being forced into a pressure cooker home, and the sky is cranking the emotion all the way up. That's why I feel like when week one has seen so many tears in the have not room, so much talk about who feels safe and who feels betrayed. Cancer season in a locked house, baby girl, is nothing but a feelings factory. And second, and this is a big one, Mercury retrograde is still happening in Cancer. Mercury rules communication, information, and how we talk to each other. When it goes retrograde, messages get crossed. Secret comes out sideways. People say the thing they should not have said, and everyone has to backtrack. Now, tell me this is not the entire week so far. Drew ratting out Jason's secrets, Jason confessing his whole plan to the wrong person, Angela getting hurt by information she did not want, even Yash asking people if he was safe and being told exactly what he wants to hear, Rome, child, announcing to the whole house that he gonna throw the veto. That is Mercury retrograde in Cancer, emotional information misfiring in every direction. Listen, I think the sky is basically writing the feeds. Now, third point, we have Mars and Gemini. Now, Mars is the sign of how we fight, and Gemini is a sign of talking and gossip and words. So the conflict this season is not a physical one, it's a verbal one. It is whisper campaigns. It is who told who what. It is talking someone out of the game. And the weapon this week is the mouth. Mars and Gemini is handing everybody ammunition. Now, fourth, we get Jupiter. It actually just moved into Leo, and Jupiter is our luck and expansion, and Leo is the bold, the confident, the performers who want to be seen. And Jupiter and Leo, it rewards the people who own the spotlight. And who is thriving? Miss D, who has her Venus and Mars in Leo, and Miss Angela, who is a Leo sun. That's where you see the confident performers that are getting a cosmic boost right now, and it shows. And then the fifth thing is Saturn is in Aries. Saturn is the hard teacher. It's your reality check, the consequences. And Aries is impulsive, reckless. It likes to charge first and fire. So Saturn in Aries is the universe walking around, kind of going slow down. Your impulsiveness has a bill attached to it. It's expensive. And Saturn is sitting at about 14 degrees in Aries, I think, which is basically right on top of Rome's Aries sun. So the most reckless fire player in the house is getting a personal visit from the planet of consequences. I want you to keep that in your back pocket for the Rome section because it matters. So I want to do something fun, which is Synastry. Okay, yay! Synastry is when you compare charts to see how people mesh or clash, and the alliances are a perfect lab for it. So let's start with the crossovers. Okay, if my slide could ever just do what I want it to do. I should stop trying to use my cursor and use my keyboard. But anyway, so let's start with the crossovers. They are the power group. Dee is a Libra, Devin is an Aries, Angela is a Leo, Barrett is a Virgo, Drew is an Aquarius. Here's why they actually work. The two leaders, Dee and Devin, they both have their moon in Gemini, which means their emotional wiring is the same. And in Synastry, a shared moon sign is instant rapport. You just get each other without explaining. So the two survivor players at the top are on the same wavelength, which is exactly why the whole thing holds. And then you have a pile of basically, let me call it like fire and gold, because you have Angela being a Leo, Devin's being an Aries, and both Dee and Barrett who have their Venus or Mars in Leo. So that is a lot of people who like to win and like to be seen, which could clash, except they're all pointed at the same goal. So instead it reads as more of a confident and a dominant unit. And also with Jupiter transiting Leo, I didn't think about that. But with Jupiter transiting Leo right now, I think that just goes to see all that Leo energy getting rewarded, which is why the crossovers are literally the top 5 most popular house guests. And now the glue is Barrett. Barrett is the Virgo. He's the earth sign, the one who reads every detail and keeps his hands clean, and everyone trusts him. Every fiery alliance needs one grounded person, and that's him. And a fun bonus is Venus is actually transiting through Virgo right now, sitting right on his stack. So the house is feeling extra warm toward Barrett this week specifically. Now, the one who doesn't quite fit emotionally would be Drew, because he is an Aquarius sun with a Cancer moon, and his emotional wiring is very different from the rest of the group. And what do, come on, what's going on? Angela, she doesn't fully connect with Drew. She said that he reminds her of someone she doesn't trust, that he connects strategically but not emotionally. That is the Synastry. Drew bonds through strategy, not feelings. So the feelings people in the group, they're going to hold him a little at arm's length. And under Mercury retrograde, his instinct to run information around is exactly the thing that I think could kind of crack this alliance open. So now the red corner. They're a little bit of a sinking ship. So Kirk, Camus, I've heard his name, but for some reason, it's the spelling of the name that throws me off. I don't know why. I just have pronunciation issues with certain things. So I like to call him Kirk, because it's easier for me to say. But Kirk is an Aries, and Haley's a double Virgo. Chuck is a Libra. Is that how you spell Chuck's name? It may not be Chuck. Hold on, let me search that really quick, because I'd feel bad. I thought it was something different, like a different version, but it was still pronounced Chuck. It's Chuk. Okay, I apologize. But Chuck is a Libra with the Pisces moon, and astrologically, this alliance has a problem because there's no emotional glue. You have Aries fire, Virgo criticism, Libra people pleasing, and none of it bonds at a heart level. This is more of an alliance of convenience, not connection. And there's also a timing issue because we're in Cancer season under a Cancer new moon, which is when bonds are supposed to deepen emotionally. And a convenient alliance with no emotional core, it feels cold right now at the exact moment where everybody else is bonding through feelings. And I think that's a big part of why the red corner kind of reads as a sinking ship and why people want to pick it apart. And man, y'all, poor Haley. She's a double Virgo, sun and moon. That's the most analytical, critical placement in the house. And she said out loud that she's not getting along with women. Oh my gosh. But that's really real criticism, I think, turned into a personality. And when you put it underneath this warm, emotional Cancer sky, it's not landing well. And she's kind of the least liked person in the house right now. And the chart is not all that shocked. Good luck, Haley. Even though being disliked is not the worst thing all the time in the show. But let's get to our limes, all right? Let's get to Mr. Rome and Lyric, all right? Let me give you chemistry first because it's real. Lyric has her Venus in Aries. I have my Venus in Aries. Hi, Lyric. Rome is a triple Aries. His Sun, Mercury, and Mars are all in Aries. So Lyric's Venus, which is literally how she loves and what she's attracted to, is sitting right on top of Rome's entire identity. In Synastry, when one person's Venus lands on another person's Sun, that's basically instant magnetic, I'm drawn to you type of vibes. She's not attracted to Rome despite who she is. She's attracted to exactly who he is, okay? All that bold Aries fire. That is why this thing caught fire on day 1. And child, what were you, day 3, day 2? But I know we were more days than that. But it is a fire couple through and through. His triple Aries, her Venus in Aries, her Mars in Sagittarius, her moon in Leo. That is a shit ton of fire in one bag. Fire plus fire is hot, fast, passionate, and combustible. It burns so bright, so fast that it typically tends to burn out, which is exactly what everyone means when they say these two have completely lost the plot and forgotten they are playing a game. But there's a little crack underneath. And this is the real Synastry read, I think. Rome's Venus, how he bonds, is in Aquarius. And that's a very cool, independent, and a little detached. And Lyric's moon, what she needs emotionally, is in Leo, which wants to be adored and doted on and made the center of the world. So that brings somebody who needs constant devotion, while he loves in a very breezy, keep it light, don't fence me in type of way. So right now, in the honeymoon, you can't unsee it. But I think that this is a mismatch with the timer on it a little bit. Because the Leo moon, I think, is going to want more than the Aquarius Venus is going to want to be giving up. And then when you layer the sky on top, Saturn, our reality check planet, is sitting right on Rome's Aries sun this week. So when Saturn's on your sun, that's like the universe saying to you, you need to grow up, you need to focus, there are consequences to your actions. So the most fire drunk, when you think about it, the most fire drunk, showmance distracted, aura forming player in the house is getting a personal transit that punishes exactly that behavior. If Rome doesn't snap out of the Lyric bubble and starts playing, the sky, I think, is going to make him pay for it. The stars is like, to me, they kind of basically tapping on him on the shoulder going, baby girl, baby boo, you are on a game show if you didn't remember. Now let's talk about our little flirtmance, Dee and Barrett. It's quietly bubbling, but I think the chart's a little interesting here, so I want to talk about it. Barrett said in the Cam Talk he cannot believe he's in a flirtmance with Dee from Survivor. I couldn't eat the child. And when I really looked at the chart together, it made sense. So Barrett has his Mars in Leo. Dee has her Venus and her Mars in Leo. So his Mars, which is his drive and his attraction, is sitting right with her Venus, which is romance and what she gives off. Venus on Mars and Synastry, that is the classic chemistry aspect. It is the one astrologers literally look for to say that, yes, there is a spark, there is a thing here. So this is not random. These two have an actual magnetic pull built into their chart. And the timing is a little unreal because Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion and good feeling, is transiting Leo right now, sitting right on top of both of their Leo placements at the same time. So the sky is like basically inflating the exact spot where their chemistry lives. Like, I think if you wanted to script a flirtmance to bloom this specific week, this is the transit you were ordered. So I'm going to be watching this one. Very curious. So now let's talk about the feud. Now that the war is brewing, because it's coming, y'all. Angela versus Jason. And I think the Synastry tells you exactly how this goes. So Angela is Leo's sun with her Mars and Taurus. Taurus Mars is the most stubborn, immovable, never let go fighting style there is. And so like once she locks into a target, she's the type to plant her feet and she ain't about to stop pushing. And Jason, he's Libra sun with his moon and his Mars both in Gemini. And Gemini Mars is the opposite. It is slippery, verbal. It's real quick with it. It fights by talking and dodging and changing the subject. So when you think about it like this. Like it's like your immovable object versus the slippery talker. Where Jason is the type to try to charm and wiggle his little way out. And Angela with that Taurus Mars, she ain't about to let it go. So she's going to be the one to grind him down. And it kind of stings her extra because she is Leo. The Leo, they will take a betrayal of a friendship as a personal insult to their pride. He fake cried to her and then mocked to the camera. Her Leo heart is not going to forgive that. Then we add in the sky, Mercury's retrograde, so the secret about what Jason really said is already out. Mars is in Gemini, which is throwing gasoline on like a verbal, gossip-based fight. And Angela's moon is on the edge of Aries, which is like a very hair-trigger type of temperature, with Saturn sitting in Aries, making everything feel high stakes. So like every single transit this week is going to set up to make Angela unable to hold her tongue. I think this blows up, and I think the skies says very soon. So, what is the actual temperature of the house? Hot, emotional, and about to crack, in my opinion. The Cancer new moon has everybody in their feels. Mercury retrograde, it has those secrets leaking. Jupiter in Leo is rewarding the bold performers, which is why Dee and Angela and the whole crossovers crew are on the top. And then Saturn in Aries is just like quietly billing the reckless fire players with Rome first in line. And for me, I think the skies this week are favoring Dee, full stop, like duh, Leo, Venus, and Mars glowing under Jupiter and Leo, and Angela and Barrett riding that same Leo boost. And I think who the sky is checking is Rome, with his Saturn on his sun, and Haley, whose critical Virgo energy is freezing her out under a warm Cancer sun. And on the block, Yash is still the one most likely to go. And honestly, like as a cool, detached Aquarius who never really found his emotional footing in a Cancer season house, I think that actually tracks too. But that's the temperature. A feelings flooded, secret spilling, verbally armed house under a sky that is basically producing the season for free, child. I think the crossovers are winning because the sky will reward their boldness. I think the showmance is like going to be, burn a little hot because it's literally a pile of fire signs. And it's on a timer though because of one little Aquarius feed. Venus is a little quiet. And Angela versus Jason is loading up because of an immovable Taurus Mars, just caught a little slippery Gemini one right as Mercury retrograde spilled the truth. So if you want to, tell me in the comments, are you a Rome who needs Saturn to sit you down? Or are you a Barrett, just like quietly winning while everyone watches the drama? If you want to, I would love to know what your Venus and your Mars is because that is where the chemistry lives. And I want to know which showmance feud you want me to run the next Synastry on next. I got it. I may be back after the next eviction. I'm not sure. I said that. I don't know why I said that in the slide. But you know what? I'll just be back whenever I be back. All right. I'm really starting to love this beautiful messy cast. And yeah, it's just like this is already wrapping up to be not wrapping up, but like starting to be a good season. So bye.